Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cool Things With You. I'm really excited to have received my Canon Powershot SX740 HS compact digital camera today. I currently have a Panasonic Lumix TZ30 which was released in April 2012. So it's now 7 years old and I decided it's time for a change. So here it is, I've got a few extras in here, so why don't I get unboxing this and show you what I have. So okay, let's get unboxing then. I'll turn the box around and let's open it. So the first thing that you see here is a bit of Canon marketing material. Stories not included. Canon, living for the story. And then it opens up, keeping with the Canon theme. It's actually got, I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera there, shoot, remember, share. So it's quite nicely branded. It's a really nice box. It's well packaged as you can see. So hopefully everything is okay in there. So the first thing I have is the case. I've just got a standard Canon case. They're not overly expensive. It's like a fake leather. And take it out of the box so you can have a look. So it doesn't really do anything other than hold the camera, but at least it gives it a little bit of protection. So the next thing that I've got here is a spare battery. I think that's absolutely critical when you're recording. Not particularly cheap, but at the end of the day, absolutely essential so that you can keep the show going. The next thing I have here, before digging out the camera, is a organiser. So it's a Canon Powershot accessory organiser. Again, it's nicely packed, keeping with the Canon Powershot theme. And then inside of this, it's made out of sort of, it's almost like a cotton type material, I'd describe it as. But I don't think it is cotton. Inside you've got room to put cables. You've also, by the look of it, I'm not sure if this is room to put your camera, but I think actually you can put your camera in there. And then you've got another little pocket there. So again, a nice touch, just something that's useful to have available to you for when you're travelling. And then finally, one of the other things that I bought as an accessory here is the Canon Power Pack. And what this enables me to do is to be able to use the Canon camera when plugged into the main, so that when I'm recording videos, I don't need to worry about constantly having to change the battery and also wearing the battery down as well, because those batteries are not cheap. I paid around, I think, £30 for that particular battery. I got it at a discounted price, but generally they are pretty expensive for branded products. And what you have here is basically something in the shape of the battery. You put it into the bottom of the camera, I believe, and then plug it into your mains electricity. So again, very useful. And then finally, the last part in here is the Canon camera itself, and this is what I'm really excited about. So there are a number of Canon cameras available. I chose the 740. I think it is very good value for money. It's around £350. I did compare it with a couple of other cameras, so I'll talk a little bit more about those in a second. And then the final purchase I made was a 256GB U3 memory card that's 4K compatible. So going back to my old camera, it's not 4K, it only records HD, and 4K is the in thing now, so it's a capability I'd like to have on my camera. So going back to the reason I chose this camera and the comparisons I made, so I compared this to two different cameras that were in a similar price bracket. One was £400, another was £450, and then the Canon camera that I actually bought was $349.99 recommended retail price. Now I compared it to a Panasonic TZ95 that was priced at £399. Very similar specifications, if anything a little bit better than the Canon in the sense that it's got a touchscreen. And similarly, I looked at a Sony Cybershot HX99 which was priced at £449, and again it had a touchscreen. So why did I choose this camera? Quite simply the lens. It's 40x zoom. The other two that I compared it against at a similar price bracket, they're only 30x zoom. When you look at some of the other products out there, yes, there are some better capabilities in that they have touch screens and they might have slightly higher reviews. So this camera came with a 4-star out of 5-star rating. The other two, one of them was also a 4-star, and then there was a 4.5-star. So I've gone for this primarily because I think they're fairly comparable with the exception to this not having the touchscreen, and I really wanted that 40x zoom capability. So I'm going to get to the point now of unboxing this camera, and let's have a look what you actually get inside. So when we get to the box, you've got a bit of information on the front telling you a little bit more about the camera. So it tells you that it's got a 20.3 megapixel sensor, it's capable of recording 4K, it's got a 24mm 40x optical zoom lens, it's got built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capability. And then on the back, it doesn't really tell you a huge amount of information, it just tells you a little bit of detail about the HDMI, about the operating system. I'm not sure how well you can see that on the screen, and then it tells you a little bit more in terms of the contents of the box. But let's dig into actually opening the camera and seeing what's inside. So as you open it, let's dig into opening the camera and seeing what's inside. So as you open it, you'll see that there's a couple of flaps there. And the first thing that you're presented with is a booklet. So you've got I think a warranty card. You've got some booklet there in terms of how to actually use the camera. And then finally we get to the actual camera itself. So what I can see is we've got the battery there. We've got a power cable there. We have a charger for the battery. There's a little cord there that you can attach to the camera, so presumably you can put that around your wrist so you don't drop it. And then finally you have the actual camera itself, which is nicely stored in a plastic tray to prevent it from shaking around during transport. So taking a look at the camera, you've got the model number on the front, you've got the 40x optical zoom just to remind you of what the camera is capable of. The model's also showing a gain on the top, so you can't really forget what camera you're actually using. And then on the top you've got a microphone there. You've got what appears to be a power button, the shutter control, the zoom button, a mode button, and then at the front what I would presume is a record button. So taking a look at the side, you've got a couple of ports there. One of them appears to be a micro USB port, which I presume is so that you can connect this directly to your computer and download the images off the SD card, and then the other one is a micro HDMI port, and I presume that's so that you can plug that into the TV, but it's not something I'll personally most likely be using. So coming to the back of the camera, you've got the screen, and on the screen you can flip that, and that goes right up so that you can actually see yourself as you're recording on the camera if you're taking a video or a selfie, for example. And I'll fold that back down. You've then got a button there which I have no idea what that does. The next one is some sort of Wi-Fi button, so maybe that's to be able to connect directly to a Wi-Fi network or to a mobile phone app. You've then got a menu control button there. You've also got a playback button there, which I presume is very similar to my Panasonic Lumix camera, where I can actually just look at the images that I've taken. And then finally there's a menu button there to take you through to the various menus. On the bottom, you've got a slot there for the battery and also the memory card. And then here you have the ability to be able to connect it to a tripod or presumably some sort of selfie stick as well. So that's the camera, and the only one that I've missed there is that you also have a flash button. So the flash pops up like that and you can push it back down. Now that did worry me when I first looked at the camera, the fact that the flash pops up and it doesn't look the strongest, but I've been reassured reading various reviews online that it's actually a very robust flash on the camera. So I've taken the risk there, and here is the camera. Okay, so we're back. The memory card is in, the battery is in, so let's power that up and see what it does. So there we go, it boots straight up. I can't actually see the back of the camera at the moment. It's asking me for the date. So what I'll do is I'll set the date, I'll set the time, and then we'll jump back into this in a few seconds. Okay, so finally I have the camera set up, and you can see what you're seeing on this camera. So it looks really good. It's a pretty decent weight. I can hold it one-handed. It's got very good optical zoom. So what we'll try is, let's try zooming in on the box. Wow. Okay, that's really struggling. It's we'll go back to sort of that level of zoom there, and you can see the box on the camera. So overall, cool, that's my Canon camera. What I'm going to do now is I shall jump into recording the rest of the video on this camera so that you can now see exactly what the image quality is like for both of those cameras. So let's switch over now. So there we have it. That's me unboxing the camera. I can already just see, looking at the screen on the camera itself, recording this, but it's a lot easier to use having a flip screen. So this is my old camera here. It's served its purpose. It's been fantastic. It's lasted me a total of 6 years, maybe 6.5 years, because I didn't get it immediately the day that it came out. It's been a brilliant camera. It's done exactly what I wanted it to. However, it's not HD. The quality is just not as good as modern cameras. And I wanted to have that flip screen because I think, from a perspective in terms of being able to record yourself and put out high quality content, it really helps if you can actually see exactly what it is that you're recording. So I hope that this video has been interesting. As and when I get to use the camera more, I'll definitely come back and I'll try and give a review in terms of how the camera's been, what it's like, what's the picture quality like, what are the pros and cons of it. But for now, thanks for watching. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, make some suggestions below. Hit that subscribe button. I'll be uploading more videos now moving forward. I've got a really interesting one that I'll hopefully be able to put out at some point that I recorded with a new laptop that I've just bought. Hopefully it's all come out okay. So I've been doing some testing on that laptop and also upgrading it and doing some performance benchmarking. And you'll see that I'm also wearing some smart trackers here, and I'll be doing some further reviews on the fitness trackers as well. So thanks for watching and see you soon.